Christina, are you busy? Can I talk to you now?
Sure, what's up?
It's just that my parents want us to get together and have a talk about what's going on at their house.
At their house? Is something wrong?
You remember I told you that my mom has been having a lot of pain in her legs and hips since last year.
Yeah, I remember. I hope it's not getting worse.
Yeah, I think it is. My dad said it's getting pretty difficult for her to get around these days, even with her stick. He also said he thinks she might have some early signs of dementia.
Dementia? Oh no. Have they seen a doctor about it? I thought she was still in her 60s. Isn't it a bit early for symptoms of dementia?
Yeah, if it's dementia, it's probably early onset dementia, or young onset, or something like that. I think that's what they call it when you start seeing symptoms before the age of 65. I had a look on the internet, but I didn't really understand much about it. But my mom is 63, so I guess it's not really that early when you think about it. Anyway, she's got an appointment with a specialist next week for tests, so we'll find out then, I suppose. We just have to wait for the results.
That's awful, Brian. I'm sorry you're going through this. Let's do some research and find out some more about it. Is that what they want to talk about?
Yeah, but more about how we're gonna deal with her care.
Her care? Do you think she needs someone to look after her then?
Yeah, my dad says he can't manage it by himself. He's getting old and it's difficult for him to lift her. I'd be worried about him getting injured as well. So we're gonna sit down and talk about it. My dad, my brothers, and you and me.
Am I the only wife who's going to be there? What about your brothers? Are they bringing their wives too? I wouldn't feel right if I was the only one there who isn't strictly family. It sounds like this is something you should talk about with your brothers. I'm not sure what I could say to help.
But I'm also the eldest and you're my wife. It's a little different.
How is it different that you're the eldest? That doesn't really mean anything, does it? I've never really heard of a wife being distinguished because her husband is the eldest son. Unless it was in the olden days or something. And we're talking about your parents, Brian. They always said from the start that they didn't want any help. They specifically said they didn't want us to ask for help with stuff like childcare and loans, so we didn't need to worry about looking after them in their old age either. I remember your mom was particularly adamant that she didn't want me living with her. When they were just married and you said something about living with them when they got old, she laughed and told you under no circumstances will she have me in her house. I remember that because I thought it was kind of a mean thing to say, especially when she didn't know what would happen in the future.
That's old stuff that happened years ago. Why are you bringing that up now?
It doesn't really matter how long ago that was. It was kind of offensive to me. I think you should try to figure out this care situation by yourselves. I wouldn't feel right being there.
Don't you feel sorry for my dad?
He's the one who said he would deal with this kind of situation if it arose. Why has he suddenly changed his mind? And I'm sorry, but you know your mom has never liked me. She always puts me down and makes me feel worthless. I'm sure she doesn't want me there helping make decisions about her future. It's weird that you would even ask, to be honest.
Oh, don't be so mean. She's in trouble now. Can't you just think of that for a moment?
I'm not trying to be mean. I just think if your dad can't take care of her by himself, you should consider a professional nurse or a care home for her.
My mom is still perfectly aware of everything that's going on, Christina. She can't go into a care home. She'd hate it. Don't you have any sympathy whatsoever? I guess you can say those things because it's my parents and not yours. I'm sure if it was your mom, you'd be right there helping.
Maybe I would. It's totally different, though. My mom has never treated me like your mom did. But it's really not that. I just understand what caring for someone with dementia is like. My grandma had it. If you think that your mom would object to a care home, I really think you should look into getting professional help. Why don't you try that first? And before you criticize my attitude, you or one of your brothers should definitely try looking after your mom by yourself and tell me how simple you think it is.
We can't. We all have to work to think about it. We can't take time off that easily. And my brothers are busy with their families.
I have work as well. Why should I take time off and not you guys?
But your company is more understanding about flexible hours and stuff like that, isn't it? And some days you can even work from home.
So what? I can't work from home and look after your mom at the same time. Are you saying the whole time your idea was to ask me to look after her?
No, that wasn't the plan. But I just thought that out of all of us, you have the most flexibility, so you'd be the most likely to be able to help.
But I'm not the only one in the family with flexible work. How about Naomi, your brother Steve's wife?
Naomi is still only in her 20s. I don't think that she has the life experience to be able to look after someone like my mom.
How about Carl then? He's the youngest, but he's self-employed, right? Perhaps he has some flexibility too.
We can't ask Carl. He's totally unreliable. He'd do an awful job.
This is your mom you're talking about, though. Don't you think he could do with the responsibility? He wouldn't let her down, would he?
I don't know. He's pretty careless.
That doesn't explain why I seem to be the person chosen to shoulder this responsibility.
That's because you're my wife and I'm the eldest. We have a responsibility to our family, so you have to do your share.
That makes no sense whatsoever, Brian. What has being the eldest got to do with anything in the 21st century? I'm not going to entertain any of those outdated ideas that it's a wife's responsibility to look after her husband's family. Before you ask me to help you, please at least attempt to deal with this by yourselves.
It's not outdated to ask someone for a favor. At least give it some thought before you completely dismiss the idea. It's fine, just come with me and talk to my dad and brothers about it. You were living at home while your mom was looking after your grandma, weren't you?
Yeah, I helped my mom out a lot in those days. It was a lot of work and I don't have fond memories of it.
My brothers and I have no idea about caring for someone with dementia. I think you could have a lot of good advice for us. Can't you just come to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I don't mind. I just wish I could be sure you'll listen to me.
Okay, we're all gonna meet up at my parents' house next Sunday. Can you make sure that you don't have plans that day?
Sure, I'll put it in my calendar. But I'm only there to give advice, okay? You're the ones who'll have to deal with the actual business of looking after her. You promise you won't ask me, okay?
Yeah, sure, I hear ya. I'll explain to my dad. I'm sure he'll understand. Come back here, Christina. This is insane. We haven't finished discussing this yet. You can't just leave in the middle of a family meeting.
That's not a discussion. What you guys are doing is something completely different. It's all of you ganging up on me to try and persuade me to be a full-time caregiver to your mom. I really shouldn't have gone. I thought I could trust you, Brian. You lied to me. You said you'd explain to everyone why I couldn't do it. And you said I'd just be there to give advice. You put me in a really uncomfortable situation.
You're my wife, and I'm the eldest. If I have to deal with my mom's care, you should help me. I don't know why I have to explain this to you. It's common sense. You married into my family, so you have a responsibility to help us when we're in need.
I told you that I can't. I don't want to, for various reasons. And you have plenty of other ways of dealing with this.
Can you at least come back to my parents' house now? We can't figure any of this out if you're not here.
How do you mean? Why do you need me to be there? I've already given you all the advice I can. This is about caring for your mom. It's you guys who need to make the decision. And your dad isn't listening to any of my advice. He just seems set on making me look after her, which I've already said I'm not going to do. I'm not going back there.
It just makes far more sense if you look after her. You've got the experience.
So you're asking me to make a huge sacrifice for you and your mom. For what?
Oh, you can't call it a huge sacrifice. We're not asking that much. It's my mom. She's very important to me, so she should be very important to you as well.
If she's so important to you and it's not a sacrifice, why don't you give up work to look after her? I guess there are plenty of reasons why you don't want to. especially now that I explained some of the things I had to do for my grandma. It's not just work, or the fact that professional care costs so much. You don't want to have to look after your mom on the toilet, or put her in the bath and wash her naked body, do you? You don't even want to know what's involved in looking after someone with mobility issues. You just want me to deal with it for free so you never have to think about it.
It's not that we think it's easy. We heard what you said about your grandma. But Mom says that she doesn't want one of us looking after her. She really doesn't want someone of the opposite sex around when she's naked and stuff.
But your mom is still doing pretty well by herself. She just needs help getting in and out of the bath and things like that. So why don't you just employ a carer for those things for now, and then think about it again when it seems like she needs more help? That could be years away. And in the meantime, your dad or someone can help her on the toilet. He can probably do that, can't he?
Maybe, but he's getting on himself. I don't know how long he could manage that.
Then why doesn't your youngest brother move in with them? He wouldn't have to pay rent, so it might be a good choice for him. You and your middle brother could help at the weekend, too.
But that's a lot of effort for all of us. It would be a big burden.
Excuse me? A burden for you? What's it supposed to be for me, then? At least you'd be sharing the burden. And you'd have a helper on the weekdays, so there'd be 5 people helping. If you think doing a fifth of the work is too much for you, how am I supposed to be able to do everything? You're basically admitting that you want me to work for you for free. That's unacceptable.
Christina, can't you try think of this from my perspective for a moment? I'm not trying to push some kind of old-fashioned way of thinking on you, but I'm the oldest son. I have a responsibility. I have to show the way for everyone in the family. Don't you see? If I don't do something, no one will.
Then why don't you deal with it yourself? Why are you asking me? I'm not the eldest son. I think you should try looking after your mom full-time for a week, and then you can find out if it's really something you can ask me to do. You're asking me to work as a carer for your mom mornings and nights, while still holding down a full-time job during the day? Don't you think that's totally unfair?
You could quit your job. It's not like you have anything important to buy, is it?
What?
You did say that if we have kids, you'd probably quit your job to look after them, or at least take maternity leave for a while. If that's the case, why don't you just quit now and help your family with this problem? I think we can probably get by on my salary for a while.
Becoming a caregiver and becoming a mother are 2 completely different things. It's a case of quitting my job for me and my life goals versus quitting it for you or some other reason.
If you feel that way, then how can you suggest that I quit my job for this? That's even more selfish.
I'm not suggesting that really. I'm only saying that because you keep saying you need to take responsibility as the eldest. The actual solution I recommended at first, that you keep ignoring, is to employ a professional to look after your mom.
Well, you know, if I have to quit my job over this, you can kiss goodbye to your chance of having children. You'd be supporting me, wouldn't you? There is no way we could afford kids then, especially if you had to stop working to have them.
What on earth are you saying? Why is it you can only consider solutions that mean one of us sacrificing something? I'm saying get a professional care worker to come to the house or have a daycare center come and pick her up and look after her during the day. If everyone works together, we wouldn't have to put her in a nursing home. There's no reason I should have to shoulder the whole burden by myself. That's all I'm saying.
I didn't know that you could be so obstinate. Why is this so difficult for you? Why is it that you don't want to look after my mom so badly?
It's really not that I don't want to help out.
Then what is it? Look, if you can't find it in yourself to help me out in a situation like this, I think we should consider getting a divorce.
Excuse me?
You're not fulfilling your role and responsibilities as my wife. When we got married, we didn't agree that we could just pick and choose when to help each other out. I don't see the meaning in us being married anymore if you're going to be like this.
You think you can divorce me because I refuse to quit my job and care for your mom full-time for free? That's completely ridiculous, Brian.
If you don't like it, why don't you come back here and tell everyone that you look after mom? Then we can stop worrying about this and everyone will feel better.
I think you've got this wrong. You can't give me that kind of ultimatum. It's not fair.
It looks like we're getting a divorce then, doesn't it?
What makes you think you have the right to decide all of this stuff and force me to choose between two situations I don't want?
Like I said, if you don't like it, come back here. All you have to do is apologize and promise you'll look after Mom as best as you can. This is your responsibility because you're married to the eldest son of a respectable, traditional family.
I honestly think you're going crazy with this eldest son stuff.
I'm totally serious, Christina. I can just download the divorce papers and print them off here. Shall I sign them and give them to you later? Then you can just decide what to do. It should be pretty simple. We don't have any kids or shared property. Christina, where are you? My dad wants you over at his place now to look after Mom. He says he just needs you to make dinner if that's all you can manage, but it's getting late. You have to go there.
I'm sorry, but I can't go over there now because I'm busy.
Oh man, not this again. Are you still refusing to help us out? How long are you going to keep this up? You are such a heartless woman. Don't you have any idea of how to be a good wife?
No, like I keep saying, none of this fits my idea of what a good wife is expected to do.
Everyone is relying on you to help out with this. You're betraying the entire family with this foolishness. Can't you act like a wife for just one moment? Have some humility and make my dad some dinner.
Well, it's a shame he doesn't have anyone to make his dinner. I wonder if he's considering making it himself. I don't need to act like a wife since I don't consider myself anyone's wife. So I'd appreciate it if you didn't contact me asking for wifely support anymore.
What do you mean you're not anyone's wife?
I filed our divorce papers yesterday. It might take a while to get the final judgment, but I definitely think I don't have to do what you want anymore. I found a new place. I'll move out by the end of this week.
Oh, you really went through with it? I thought that we were just messing around.
You signed all the papers and declared your assets and everything. At what point did you expect me to say I wasn't serious? Of course I was serious. I would never have taken it so far if I wasn't. You even met my lawyer. You said if I didn't want to look after your mom, we would get a divorce. So that's what happened, Brian.
But we never really sat down and talked about it. I thought that you were just bluffing. Can you retract after you submitted them? Call your lawyer and tell him it was a mistake. I refused to get a divorce from you. I didn't mean you could just file without talking to me about it.
No, I can't retract them. You went along with the whole thing. You signed everything happily. Do you think the court would believe you if you said you didn't know what was going on?
Do something about it, Christina.
Why are you so freaked out by this? You're the one who served me with the papers originally. I just agreed.
But look, I just wanted to scare you. I didn't actually think you would do it.
So you just wanted to divorce me as a prank then? If that's true, it actually just makes me more certain that I don't want to be with you. What kind of irresponsible person gets a divorce to scare someone? But it's too late for regrets now. You only have yourself to blame. You tried to force me to care for your mom when I said I couldn't. So you served me with divorce papers. None of that is my fault.
Are you seriously filing for divorce?
I already did! And because we both agreed to all of the arrangements, it's basically a foregone conclusion. And I'm not going to reconsider, so don't try to persuade me. As far as I'm concerned, we're basically strangers now. Good luck with your life, Brian. I'm sure you'll enjoy your freedom.
Why have you done this, Christina? It's not fair on me. How could you just file for divorce so easily? Didn't you ever love me?
I think you're mixed up. It's me who should be saying those things to you. You gave me an ultimatum and said if I didn't look after your mom, we were getting a divorce. So we did. I thought it over a lot, actually. But you didn't give me a choice. It's not like I just got a divorce from you on a whim.
I just didn't believe that you would really go through with it.
Well, that's on you, Brian. If you didn't realize how much stress you caused me, you wouldn't know how serious I was about getting a divorce. Those times when your mom was making my life hell, you never even attempted to help me. And even though we were both working, you thought you would let me do all the housework because it fit in better with my schedule or something. So when you started saying all that stuff about helping to look after your mom, I just couldn't deal with it. It was the final straw for me. I can't put up with your selfishness anymore, Brian. You've taken advantage of me for far too long, and you've never done anything to help me when I was in need. If you want an explanation as to why we're getting a divorce, I suggest you examine your own behavior over the last few years. That's the cause.
But I couldn't help asking you to look after my mom. My dad and both of my brothers seemed to think it was natural that you'd take care of it. But then you said you wouldn't, so you put me in a really hard place.
So why did you agree with them and ask me to do it then? Didn't you think it was strange to ask me? You obviously didn't because you kept telling me I had to. It's too late now to pretend you didn't have a choice. That's always been my main issue here. You don't stand up for me.
But I had to agree with them because I'm the eldest son.
Oh, there you go again. I'm dying to ask. What did I ever gain by being the wife of the eldest son? I've never been given special privileges because of it. On the contrary, actually. It seems like that was the reason I was usually treated worse than the rest of the family. I suppose if I got especially mean comments directed at me, maybe my special privilege was to be treated like garbage by everyone else.
I don't think you're entitled to special privileges because you're the wife of the eldest son, though.
Okay, I really don't understand why I was being asked to look after your mom then. It doesn't make any sense. Either it's special or it's not, Brian. So which is it? Why should I have to make special sacrifices if I don't get any special privileges? It seems like you're just making it up so that you can force me to do things I don't want to. Maybe if your mom and dad were really nice to us and took special care of us because we're the eldest, I might feel like I had to repay them for that. But that's never happened, has it?
But we're a family. It's just expected that we should look after each other.
If that's the case, then surely that means your brothers are included too. Carl is the one who always seemed to get the most special treatment because he's the youngest. Your dad even bought him a car last year.
That's because he couldn't work unless he had a car, and he couldn't afford to buy one himself.
But Steve and Naomi also get treated pretty nicely. Didn't your parents give them money to help pay for their wedding ceremony? How about us? I don't think we've ever got anything from your parents.
That's because I can take care of myself. I've just never needed any help from my parents.
That's not true, though. Your parents specifically said they weren't going to help us with anything. But they didn't mind helping your brothers. I just don't see why I should be the one to take care of your mom when your parents have never done anything kind for me. In fact, your mom made me really miserable the first few years we were married. I'm pretty sure she only stopped because she can't walk well, so she can't get round here to talk down to me and make me feel like a failure all of the time. When you think about it, it's crazy that you would ask me to give up my life to look after someone who treated me like that.
I'm sorry, Christina. I guess I really didn't think of any of this stuff from your perspective.
Well, that's weird because I spent a long time trying to explain to you how you were making me feel, and you refused to listen to any of it.
I was completely in the wrong. I see that now. Can't you reconsider the divorce? I don't want you to leave me.
No, I finally understand you, Brian. When I needed help, you weren't there for me. And it's taken you too long to realize how much you were hurting me.
Oh, don't say that. I didn't mean for you to get hurt. I think if you give me a chance, I can change. I'll pay more attention to what you say. You don't have to look after my mom or anything like that. Let's just live together and get along like we have been doing. I thought we made a great team.
I don't want to continue like we have been, though. Maybe the whole fight about looking after your mom was the thing that made me realize it. But I think this divorce is for the best.
I'm really sorry, Christina. Can't you even consider forgiving me? I know I haven't been a great husband so far, but I promise to protect you properly from now on. Oh, don't leave, please.
It's already been decided. I think you should take some time to reflect. Maybe if you meet someone else, you'll be a better husband next time, but you won't be with me. I just want you to remember that before you're anyone's eldest son, you're a husband. That should have been your priority with me. Five days after that conversation, I left my husband's house and moved back in with my parents. He cried and tried to stop me until the very last moment, but I was all out of sympathy for him. He really pushed me to my limits, and I had nothing left to give. It's true that we divorced because of the argument over his mom's care, but I think the problem started happening way before that even came up. After I left, I heard from Brian's brother's wife, Naomi, that the family tried to make her look after our mother-in-law instead. It seems like none of them ever learned from their mistakes with me. Naturally, Naomi got really mad about it as well and moved back to her parents' house. But I think that's probably temporary. I think in the end they decided that Brian and his youngest brother would help look after their mom together. But that didn't last long because they both got tired of working so hard to care for her when their dad wasn't prepared to help at all. Brian messaged me the other day to say that they're looking for a care home as fast as they can, and he wanted to know if I knew of anywhere. I didn't respond, mainly because I don't know anywhere, but also because it's not my responsibility to help him out anymore. But I hope that this experience has taught him how difficult it is to care for someone in their old age. Maybe now he realizes just how much he was asking of me. Apparently, the problem of figuring out care for my mother-in-law has put the whole household into some serious difficulties. I think as soon as they get their mom into a care home, none of Brian's brothers will be talking to their dad for a very long time. But this is what happens when you try to avoid your responsibilities and make the women around you do all the things you don't want to do yourself. I don't really feel any sympathy for any of them. I just hope I never have to see them ever again. I've mainly been concentrating on work since I left Brian. I'm very busy and I'm finding it really satisfying to focus on myself for a change. I've got my own apartment now, so I can basically relax and do whatever I want. When I compare my life now to how it was when I was first married, I'm definitely feeling more comfortable and happy where I am now. I don't have any regrets about splitting up with my husband. From now on, I'm going to enjoy spending time with people who truly value me and my time. I'm going to make the most of my freedom to just be me. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content. See you next time!